The following announcement's been paid for by the Savvo and Stubby Show.
Quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
What is up, wrestling fans? It's me, it's S-T-U-B-B. White's and the man, the myth, the legend, the mighty man in himself, Stubby, and I am joined by my colleague, the enigmatic, charismatic, Greek Mystique. He is the president, CEO, and CFO of the Bailey Fan Club, not to mention a season ticket holder to the Bailey Hug section. Big Papa Savvo, how are you?
The fan club is going down. Bailey's out. I'm doing good. How you doing, Stubby?
It feels good to be back in general population. I tell you, WWE does not take too lightly for trespassing. But
Shit I gotta do to get you out of that mess.
yeah. You made one happy guard, I can tell you that.
Let's not talk about that.
But that doesn't stop the Stubby, because this week we are coming to you from Stamford, Connecticut, the maintenance bay, and one of the production trucks.
We better keep it down.
Yeah, I have a certain set of skills, one of those being lockpicking. The other is making a mean pot of macaroni and cheese, but that doesn't apply here. So, see all these screens and all these buttons? I'm curious to see what some of these buttons do.
Dude, we're gonna get busted.
All right, so yeah, so many buttons here. I'm just gonna pick one at random. We'll do the eeny, meeny, miny, mo thing. So eeny, meeny, miny, this one.
Oh, no way. What were you trying to tell me? That WWE's pumping fake audio?
Yeah. All right, I'll push just one more and then we'll get the show started. Let's see what this one does right here. What in the hell?
That's crazy. Why do they even have that?
Why would you still have that, WWE? You can't send a guy his termination papers on his wedding day with the hopes that you didn't burn bridges and he's going to come back. But it's actually kind of cool that it came up, because this week's episode, I want to step outside our first episode format, which was going over the long, drawn-out matches of the week for all the wrestling, and do a non-format format for this week. And one of the topics I want to touch base on is the microphone skills of wrestlers over the years. CM Punk was one that kind of set the bar in the mid, 2010 era?
Something like that.
And really made people have to sell their promo. I mean, you look at Paul Heyman, he can push a...
Yeah, he's genius.
He's a promoter. John Cena has the gift of gab, even though I don't really appreciate some of the stuff he does in the ring. The Rock is another one. But back in the day, I noticed on the Savvo and Stubby Show Facebook page, you posted a few videos of promos from back in the day from the WCW, NWA, or...
Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Yeah. What stood out about those that made you want to post those?
They just had a way of doing it. I mean, the Horsemen, Dusty Rhodes even... I mean, it was just so believable. It made you honestly, in your heart, you knew that they meant what they were saying, in your head anyway. You knew that what they were saying, they were going to do it.
One of the biggest things I noticed, and we talked about this a little earlier while doing the prep for the show, the difference between back in the day and to current day, when a wrestler cut a promo back then, they had the wrestling skills to back it up, so you really truly believed what they had to say.
Not so much anymore.
Not so much now. You can have someone cut a killer promo, like you'd see someone like The Rock really embarrass whoever he's talking to in the ring, and then you see your typical Rock match, which was a bunch of gimmicks.
Right.
Do you think the promo makes the man, or does the man make the promo?
the man makes the promo. But, I mean, you need a little bit of both, but definitely the man makes the promo.
I got to be honest, this week I didn't really watch much wrestling. I'm still got that Royal Rumble hangover. Really pissed off of how it ended and, the full effect of it all. But I listened to a couple other podcasts, and people overall said they liked it.
It wasn't bad. It was just they made it seem like there was going to be so many surprises, or you expected there to be so many surprises because they kept saying remember the Rumble.
Yeah, you can't title your show "Remember the Rumble" when the only thing I remembered about it is that I lost 6 hours of my Sunday.
Right.
And I heard another podcaster say that was 9 hours of wrestling over that weekend
with NXT. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot going on with little result. In fact, after our predictions in the first episode, I didn't see quite as many builds for WrestleMania that I thought I was going to see, or the direction that I would like to have seen it.
Yeah, still probably a little unclear what they're going to do for WrestleMania. I think they're still, waiting on to see what's going on with Rollins. And
we have this little game that you and I normally play whenever we call each other. It's if we were the writers, what would we do? I like the direction that they might have, or they've almost 100% confirmed, unless it's been said and I dismissed it, that it's Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg at Mania. But now I'm hearing rumors of Big Show versus Shaq.
Yeah.
Shane McMahon versus AJ Styles.
That would be a waste.
Potentially Randy Orton versus John Cena, but I've heard a couple. I just slobbered on myself. I slobbered on myself. I heard a couple different things. I heard Cena versus Samoa Joe. I've heard Rollins versus Triple H. I've heard Rollins versus Samoa Joe. If you were writing it, who would you take out of the Royal Rumble? Who would you put in? And what directions?
The Royal Rumble?
Yeah. If you could have rewrote that.
Oh, okay. I would definitely take out Ellsworth.
You kind of need that gimmick, though. You need someone.
What did he do?
He got tossed. He takes
Anybody can get tossed.
Could you?
I'm not a wrestler.
Yeah, but he took. He's not a wrestler either, really.
I got a freaking broken back. Not a neck, a back.
Jumping through tables, that's what happens.
Wow. Anyway, I would have got rid of Ellsworth, got rid of Kalisto.
Like, I would have rather seen, Goldust and R-Truth. As corny as their gimmicks are sometimes, they're veterans and they know how to sell a match.
I would like to have seen a legend, and I'm not talking about freaking Hacksaw Jim Duggan, a real freaking legend.
Yeah, I was anticipating that we were going to see at least DDP or Kurt Angle.
Right, okay, DDP's not a legend yet, but yeah, DDP would have been cool. He was in another one already, yeah. But it would have been cool if, Sting would have came out. I don't know if he's up to it.
Now, you said that you were hoping to see more surprises.
Yeah.
I watched the Bring It to the Table on WWE Network. Yeah, this is a cheap plug for you guys. And Paul Heyman stated that would you rather see...
That was so...
I kind of agree with
one-sided, though.
I'd rather see a build-up than have someone just make an appearance. As much as I like seeing Ty Dillinger enter into the Royal Rumble...
Yeah, I would have got rid of him.
He's not on the roster now. He's still in NXT.
Right.
So, it was great, and it was fitting because he's the perfect 10.
I can understand if they didn't have enough people and they just threw him in there, sure. But those are the people they could have put.
But do you really want to see Sting for just one 5-minute glimpse again?
Well, it shouldn't be 5 minutes, but yeah.
That's what we got with Goldberg and
yeah, that was a waste. They had them all come in the last, 27, 28, and 30, or 29, whatever it was. And it was like, it's almost, coming down to the draw here. It's like, what are you going to do?
I'm kind of feeling like I should start liking Roman Reigns. Because
he doesn't have bad matches. It's just he's not great. He's not great on the mic, but
the best way I've heard it was Roman Reigns was like when your parent is the equivalent, or Vince McMahon with Roman Reigns is like the equivalent of your parents making you eat your broccoli.
Is there cheese on it?
Yeah. You have to do it, but it's being forced. It's just, it doesn't feel
just
natural.
like taking your vitamins and saying your prayers, brother.
Oh my gosh. So we have Elimination Chamber this weekend.
Yes, we do.
And to be honest with you, because I haven't watched wrestling really in the last 2 weeks, I forgot there was a pay-per-view this weekend.
Shame on you.
But am I really missing anything? Oh, well, you know what?
It's a SmackDown pay-per-view.
Let's rewind. I was talking to you about what matches would you have liked to see build up to WrestleMania. Canceling out the potential Shaq versus Big Show, which
Big Show's going to be in it. I'd like to see Big Show against
Braun.
Yeah, that would be good. I mean, they did hint on it there on Raw.
Oh, that hurt my throat.
Do not try this at home.
Yeah. I would also like to see Samoa Joe versus Cena.
Yeah.
I'm done seeing Orton versus anybody, really. And I'm done seeing Cena versus...
You hating on Orton. I like Orton. He's cool.
Yeah, but he's gone through the roster. And so is Cena.
Yeah.
You got to bring in new talent, at least, to step up. And
but they got to be ready. Not like Bailey and Sasha.
Or I'd like to see a meltdown.
Or Ambrose. Can I ask a question here? Not to get too far off subject, but I was watching SmackDown, and again, they refer to Dean Ambrose as the lunatic. Can you tell me what makes him a lunatic?
I still think he's the drunk uncle. I don't see any...
He has no mic skills. I just don't get that one. You want to see a lunatic? Look at some of those videos I posted on the website.
I think he's trying to take a page out of Stone Cold and Brian Pillman's book.
He can't do that. He's not. He's a joke. Anyway, going back to what you're saying, I'm sorry.
I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd like to see a build-up of Bray Wyatt versus Orton, And I think
that's what's going to happen.
And I think at this time, we should see a belt around Bray Wyatt's waist. He's put the time in. He's definitely built the character. I felt like they squandered some of his talents when they pitted him against The Undertaker at Mania.
Yeah, I don't know what that was all about.
I think that they just didn't have an opponent lined up, or something fell through. But Bray is one of those people that we're talking about earlier that
He's great. He's got great mic skills.
He's got great mic skills, but I don't know if his mic skills match his wrestling ability or his believability in the ring. Anyone he talks to, he can make. I think it's that fear factor. It's got an uncomfortableness. Because I watched Luke Harper on SmackDown, and his promo is convincing.
Yeah.
And I think it's the lack of hair on the top of his head, and then he's got so much around the rest of his head, that makes me think he's a country boy. Oh, on a side note, I gotta note that this being episode 2, we are now officially the longest running episodic podcast ran by a Greek and a redneck in podcast history.
Well, yeah.
I mean, competition's not even close. We're up above everyone else by 2.5 episodes at least. Just saying.
Check it.
Yeah.
Google it.
So, since we got off topic about the upcoming, or who we thought would be a better matches going to Mania, let's just go ahead and jump into what we got going on for an Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber, we have Dolph Ziggler, Apollo Crews, and Kalisto. Handicap match. It's not a what do you call it? 3-way triangle match, whatever you want to call it. it's a handicap match. So Dolph against both of them.
Yeah, I would call it a handicap match for different reasons. Not because it's 2-on-1. Just because this match struggles to compete with anyone else on the roster. It's three people I really don't care to see wrestle. Dolph hasn't changed his game up in I don't know how long. Apollo Crews has no charisma. And Kalisto is just another masked wrestler to me. The believability that Dolph can take out both these guys is not there. And the build is not there. Dolph trying to play a bad guy, I'm not sold.
I think Dolph as the bad guy is his strength as the bad guy.
Hasn't it
think
been
about
done,
it. Right, it has. But think about it, like when he was Vicky Guerrero was with him, he was a bad guy.
Was that partially real? I've always wanted to know.
I have no idea.
Because Edge got up on that too, and I just
On Vicky?
yeah, I think they were married or on the show where they were, but a couple people tried to get at that, and I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know what to say.
I'm a loss for words on that one.
Yeah, I don't see Zolf. I don't see Ziggler beating, both of them, in that type of match. I'm going to go with Ziggler, though, just because he needs that push, and he's always seems like he's gotten cut short, and it seems like they're still doing something with him, in a sense. So I'm going to stick with...
Let's take an outsider approach and look at it from more of an in-depth perception. Anyway, yeah.
Perception.
With the potential future storyline, is Dolph going to be the winner here, or do we see someone like Cruz or Kalisto getting the push? Because Cruz needs a push. He definitely has.
Cruz needs to become the next Heyman guy.
He definitely has the skill sets, but his charisma and his character is
He's too
just not
much
there.
of a good guy.
Yeah, he's got. I don't think I can see him with a mean grimace on his face. He's always got a smile.
He's always smiling. Who do you got for the match?
The obvious would be Ziggler, but I think Apollo Crews might get some kind of push here. I think we might see a rubber match between these guys. But it's not really a match that I'll probably get up to get something to drink or use the bathroom when the match is on, type thing.
Yeah.
Who do we got up next?
It's in no order, but Nikki Bella against Natalya.
This one, their promo on, was it SmackDown? Oh yeah, because it's a SmackDown pay-per-view. The promo on SmackDown seemed a little off, like it was forced, or almost like they went in non-scripted. And
It did at times. I think it was mostly Natalya's side, though. But,
she's trying to go for that wow factor by saying, like, real personal things.
Right, exactly. And it keeps going back. What'd she say? John Cena's would be with someone like her, or is going to be with her.
If he wasn't with you, he'd probably end up with someone like me. Yeah, I'm sure Tyson really liked that one.
What's he going to do about it?
I can see John Cena's houses. He doesn't want cats. He doesn't want cats.
I'm going with Bella, only because rumor has it she's going to be retiring, or at least going on a restricted schedule come WrestleMania. So I'm going to go with Bella because she needs some momentum here.
With that exact logic, I go with Natalya because they're going to probably use Nikki. There was also talks that Nikki and John were going to do a tag team match at Mania.
Horrible idea.
Which, if they go that route, they're going to need to push Natalya on this because Nikki has no role any further past that point.
What role does Natalya have?
She doesn't, and that's the problem with a lot of these wrestlers now on the roster. Is like, and I get slack for this all the time, but I don't see Sheamus and I don't see Cesaro really having a realistic solo career now that they've been squandered so long. I mean, I hear the fact now that they're looking to do the best of 7 at WrestleMania to finish off what they started months ago. And it's sad because these guys have pure natural talent, but you can only do so many things with these wrestlers before it becomes stagnant.
I think they need to move some people around. Maybe some over to, obviously over to SmackDown. I mean, when they did the draft, they were doing 1 to 3?
Yeah.
Come on. Why not 1 to 2?
I got an idea for you. What if they cut Monday Night Raw off by an hour, make it a 2-hour show, and took all the women and created a women's division like 205 Live that's just women's wrestling, and put it on the network? You'd still get the same amount of content, but no one really
It'd still be the same amount of hours.
Yeah, you can build storyline, and you can start bringing women from NXT over. I mean, there's so much more.
That's not a bad idea.
There's so much more growth there. I mean, 205 Live isn't doing as well as it should because it comes on immediately after SmackDown.
And that makes it another 3-hour.
Yeah, and like they were saying on the Wetback and Crack a Power Hour, kids have school the next day, or, people are just exhausted with watching that much wrestling at that point.
It's just like watching Monday Night Raw. Sometimes it's like, okay, that's enough.
But yeah, I had that idea today, and I was like, you know what? I might as well talk about it on the show.
That is a good. You know what? We should leave a note on the
inside the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want them to know I was here.
Well, I know, but we're not going to sign it.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. We got Mickie James taking on Becky Lynch. I personally think James needs to win this. Why? Because they brought her back. Why would you bring her back if she's not going to create some havoc or something?
See, but that's where you take away the mystique from all these wrestlers. That, I mean, the fan base is the fan base, and we're not.
I'm not in the sports entertainment.
I mean, we're not stupid. Like, everyone's logic's the way yours is, but if you think about that way, then it takes away from the match itself. Like, there's no possibility now that Becky Lynch will win it. Because like you said, Mickie James needs to push. Why bring her back in unless you are going to have her lose and then she wins the next night on...
Right, it goes back and forth. But I'm going with Mickie James.
And you see, I noticed this at the pay-per-view for Royal Rumble 2. They had 3 women's matches. They had the 2 pre-shows.
They're trying to push it too much.
The women's division, if you're going to push it that hard, give them their own show.
Or, instead of having them go one-on-one, put them in an elimination chamber.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I mean, they put Charlotte and Sasha in a cage match. TNA did that crazy-ass match that they did, the, what was it, Monsters Ball match. Well, come on. Step it up.
So before we go on to the next thing, I just lost my train of thought.
We're still talking about the lineup.
All right, fine. Who do we got next? Oh, yeah, please. Finish chewing.
We got Alexa Bliss and Naomi.
Alexa Bliss and Naomi. I like Alexa Bliss. I really like the direction that the SmackDown brand's going with her. I'd like to see Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte at some point.
Yeah.
But I also, on a side note, there's a girl by the name of Liv Morgan in NXT who reminds me a lot of Carmella with her personality, but she can actually wrestle, which leads to some potential build-ups to a Carmella and Liv Morgan team-up, or even a Liv Morgan coming in and taking the division by storm. But Alexa Bliss versus Naomi, I'm a little torn on this one. I think Alexa Bliss will win it, but I think it's time Naomi finally gets a push. But I'm not convinced with her character. I'm not convinced with her mic skills. In fact, she got embarrassed on SmackDown with her mic skills because Alexa Bliss is like, "Oh, I forgot you were here."
That was fun.
That's fucked up.
That's like something The Rock would do.
That's like me sitting here talking this whole time and go, "Oh yeah, Savvo, I forgot you were here in booth.
Right.
You want to say something?"
Sure, I'm going with basically the same answer you gave just now. I'm going with Bliss.
Come on, sheep, have your own thought.
This is my own thought. You just answered it first. I'm going with Bliss because she's done a pretty damn good job. I'm kind of impressed with her, actually.
She came out of nowhere.
I know. And then Naomi, there's a part of me that would like to see her attain that level, of championship material.
Did you ever watch Tough Enough? Or the latest season?
With ZZ or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhat. I didn't watch it.
The woman that came in second place, the runner-up.
Sarah Lee?
No, that was the winner. Sarah Lee was the winner.
Okay.
The one that was runner-up is actually Liv Morgan. Sarah Lee ended up flopping.
Yeah,
and Morgan seems to be getting the push now.
Oh, really?
Which is funny because the guy that was called the Yeti seemed to disappear.
The one dude, Mara, the big guy, Mara, he just dropped out too. He was the big guy from Tough Enough. Don't be looking at me like that.
Oh, man.
Anyway, Naomi does deserve a push, but I don't think you need to tarnish Bliss's, the streak she's on right now. So I'm going with Bliss.
Yeah, it was kind of a layup.
And then we got Orton versus Harper.
I like this one. I don't like the dynamic.
It's going to be a slobber knocker.
This dynamic is done before.
You're supposed to laugh, asshole.
It's got to be funny for me to laugh. This dynamic's been done before, at least where I think they're going with it. That Orton was really just playing the Wyatt family to get them to break up, which is what they did with Daniel Bryan a couple of years back.
Nah, it's not that.
But I like the push that they're giving Harper. And I think he is going to beat Orton.
Oh, wait. Well, no, it's not for that.
No,
it's just they're just going against each other.
But here, think of it from the outside perspective. What if Harper beats Orton,
and then they come up with
somehow a triple threat match, and it's going to be Orton versus Harper versus Bray?
Or what if just a match between Harper and Orton for a place at WrestleMania, for the main event match?
Yeah.
That, I didn't think of that. That would be good. But I'm going with, I'm not like really thinking outside the box on this one. I'm going with Orton. So, because in my prediction, he's going to go against Orton against
Bray
Wyatt. Yeah, Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania.
I think we're looking at a triple threat potentially here. And if it does, remember Stubby said it right here on the Savvo and Stubby show. Look at that. Tried to put my name first.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Now we got the main event match, the Elimination Chamber.
Who do you got for your potential win?
Who do I see winning? I see Wyatt winning, so he can go against Orton.
That makes sense.
And that would turn the family into all, chaos.
That makes sense from a storyline perspective, but WWE does not ever do a storyline the direction you want them to.
Maybe I should be writing for WWE.
Exactly. I think we've said that many times. I think this is where Baron Corbin gets his push. But honestly, if you look at any of these competitors, whatever you want to call them.
Superstars?
Sure, superstars. They're not actors. Oh, I guess they are actors. It can go any direction.
Right.
There's a storyline built up for any one of those
That's
six.
just weird coming from you.
I see it. Miz. I mean, you look at it from Miz's point of view.
Miz is on a roll. AJ's on a roll. Cena's on a roll.
Let's do it.
Corbin's on a roll.
Let's do it by wrestler by wrestler. The Miz, he knows he's not going to get a fair title shot going through Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. So the only way that he will get a title shot or win the title is this match here. Baron Corbin was my pick for Royal Rumble. He fell short by not much. If you think about it, he came in as number 13 and made it down to, the final 5 or 6? Mm-hmm. He was there to the end. Then you got... Who else? I'm hoping they don't go the direction with Ambrose, just because...
I hope not.
I'm so tired of him. I really am. If I can get rid of two things on SmackDown, it'd be Ambrose and Mauro Ranallo. Which I hear there's rumors that he's potentially on his way out.
Yes! Yes!
I doubt he's out with the company, but I hear he's potentially out on SmackDown, which makes SmackDown a whole lot better. I mean, that would be what pushes them over the edge for Raw. I mean, they already got the lead.
I did hear that too. I don't know what he's going to be moving on to. I think they said that's why that other guy's there. Was it Todd or something? Or
Todd Phillips?
It doesn't matter what your name is!
Yeah.
The one that they always call Tom. Jericho and...
Yeah.
or Andrew or every other name but his name. I love those guys.
That's since you didn't watch Raw, you said, right?
I watched part. I mean, I fell asleep to it.
Owens is gonna celebrate their friendship next week with the Festival of Friendship.
I saw that. That sounds like something that New Day would do. So I noticed on Facebook, or maybe it's the Savvo and Subby show that you posted it. Where did you hear that it'd be Kevin Owens versus Lesnar? You said March 13th or something like that?
Oh, I don't know if it's going to be televised or not. It was just, I think it was Bleacher Report or something.
Oh, you're not supposed to be looking at that thing. We don't look at cheat sheets.
I have to be up to date on everything.
What makes them? Events. What makes them the source for information, and not us? Don't answer that.
Anyway,
when's the next event coming to the area?
One either it just passed or it's coming up.
Oh, I almost went kayfabe. So, I mean, when is it coming to the Sacramento, Fresno area? Because we're in Connecticut right now.
Right. It may have just passed. I can't remember. I'd have to look it up.
We should go to one of those, and
tickets aren't that bad either.
Yeah, but we can also call it a business expense on our taxes.
That's right.
Because we're in the business, baby.
We'll talk about that after the
show. How does Dusty Rhodes?
We're taking care of business, baby.
Yeah, daddy.
And the one last match. Oh, so who do you have for?
We're here all night.
Who are you picking for the Chamber?
Who I want to win or who I think is going to win?
Either or.
I want Corbin to win, but I think they're going to go Wyatt. And I think they're going to go Wyatt for the reasons that you spoke about against Orton at Mania.
Who do I want to win, you may be asking? I would want Styles to win. But I'm going with Wyatt. Which leads us to the last match. It's basically a tag team tournament. American Alpha, the Vaudevillains, is it? Heath Slater and Rhino, Usos, and
what a joke!
Yeah,
the only one
I see that the way I see that is it's because of lack of tag team competition.
You know what sucks too is they got such a strong tag team competition stable at NXT. I mean, you got the Authors of Pain. You used to have TM61, but one of the combatants got hurt, and so he's out. You have Gargano and Ciampa. No, not the monkey. There's so many there. You got can't think of their names for some reason. But there's just so much there, but you can't float between the two shows. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I think the women's division should have their own division, because there's so much women talent over in NXT
That
also.
is actually a good idea.
But on the topic of tag teams, I'm not going to even touch base on that match because
I'm going Alpha.
Alpha's are going to keep the belt.
And you know what?
You know it would be a good fit?
What?
Are we? Did we just become best friends? Are we having the same thought?
It's we're going to be celebrating the Festival of Friendship.
What's your angle?
Kurt, as their manager, leading them to the ring.
That would be awesome. That'd be fitting.
Be so cool. Yeah, it would.
It would be like father and son.
I know. I know.
Which also brings me up to my dream match. I would like to see Black Kurt Angle and white Kurt Angle versus black Cena and white Cena, where you've got Kurt Angle and Jason Jordan versus John Cena and Darren Young.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I don't really want to see Darren Young against John Cena.
You got to make Darren Young great again.
Yeah, he never was.
So you got to make him great and then make him great again.
Okay, so we're both going with Alpha, American Alpha?
Yes, and then talking on the topic of tag teams and management, you were talking to me before the show about something that kind of tickled your fancy about management. What is that exactly?
Who's your top... We'll just go top 3 managers of all time. Not necessarily just tag team, but just managers.
You want to talk about ageless? Because Paul Ellering still looks the same.
He was ripped when he was managing the Road Warriors, man.
I mean, if Vince can pull it off with a suit, I'm sure Paul Ellering, he just got that Crypt Creeper walk. But, managers, I would have to say, I really like Paul Heyman. And I don't know if you'd call him a manager, more of a promoter. He's just good at what he does, period. Presence, mic skills. He gives you that total package.
Lex Luger?
Yeah. Why do I always say, yeah? Like that's something big. You said top 3?
Your favorites. If you want to go 3, sure.
That one's kind of hard because I was never a fan of the whole valet or manager role. I mean, Mr. Fuji was another good one.
Didn't think of him.
Yeah, I mean, most attractive, I'd have to say, is Lana. But yeah, I really, that's a loose topic for me. I'll let you go ahead and take the reins on this one.
Definitely going back to my horseman, J.J. Dillon. Along with Dillon, I'd have to go probably Jim Cornette.
That just shows you how far out of the loop. I thought J.J. Dillon was like the almost like Vince McMahon's role for WCW.
At one point.
Oh, he was?
Towards the, Nitro years, yeah.
Okay, because it doesn't say it. For some reason, that name stood out as like almost like an owner. Or
he was the original manager for the Horsemen. I mean, he was a wrestler before that.
No, I mean, but like a bigger role than a manager. Like he was like.
It was a bigger role. It was the 4 freaking Horsemen.
No, like an owner. I thought he was like the owner of WCW, like Vince is. No. For the longest time, talk about pulling the veil over my head. For the longest time, I thought Gorilla Monsoon was the owner of WWE, or back then WWF. That's how convincing Vince was as an announcer. That whenever I saw Gorilla Monsoon, I thought he was the man. I didn't realize he was just the front man.
Right.
Anyway, back to JJ.
J.J. Dillon. I'd have to go with Jim Cornette.
Oh yeah. What about the Mouse from the South?
You know what? No, I'm sorry. I'd never cared for him. I'm a WCW guy, NWA guy. I mean, I know they went out of business, but it is what it is.
Did they really go out of business, or did Vince save them?
Huh?
WCW, did they really go out of business, or did Vince save them? Because NWO was really taking them under toward the end.
That's because they came along with their guaranteed contracts. But anyway, that's another segment.
Oh, how do you explain guaranteed contracts that are still working today?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't, because I don't know their contracts.
I was going to say, hey, guys on the truck, cue the crickets, but we're in the truck. So I'll add that in post.
Let's see, one more manager. Paul Ellering probably, or Heyman, either one. I mean, both of them, they're both great.
My ADD kicks in.
Yeah, it does.
Do you ever think there will be another organization that will be able to compete with WWE? Or will WWE sit on the mountaintop? Because it took years for WCW to get established. TNA's been around, since 2000?
2002 maybe?
So we're talking at least 15 years. They're hanging on, but they're not anywhere near. I mean...
Yeah, they're not near, but... I don't know. I think they have a really good product. I think people just bash them too much because... I don't even know why, to be honest, but... I mean, AJ Styles came from there, Samoa Joe, Bobby Roode, Eric Young, Christopher Daniels, and Kazarian, who aren't with WWE, but they're really, good talent.
Mickey James, even though she left and came back.
Right. They have a lot to offer. I mean, if you want to be a sheep and just watch one thing over, go right ahead. But, if you want some options, TNA, check it out. That's all I got to say.
If I was a billionaire that knew the business, or at least had a knowledge of the business like Vince McMahon does, I don't understand why you don't buy TNA out and just have an outside management company run them.
I know. It's like, why didn't they do that with the WCW?
Yeah, I mean, I understand there's laws about monopolizing the business and stuff, but can you imagine if you kept the same owners, whatever they're called, or the same production company and everything that TNA has now, but with the exposure that WWE can put out there for them? And that way you get wrestling across the board. You're not going to lose product because it's your product. In fact, you get a different outlook on how the product is put out there. Because from what you showed me on TNA, there is a lot of talent there and a lot more interesting storylines and build-up. I mean, Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy reinvented themselves. But I don't have the Pop Network or whatever the Pop channel. So it's never going to hit my radar.
You can look, seriously, you look it up online. I mean, they show full episodes. All, check it out to make sure what website it's on. I think it's just Impact Wrestling. And then, anyway, I'll check it out. But there's a guy on there, Eli Drake. If you ask me, he's got the mic skills of The Rock. It's just, I don't know. I think he's got a lot of potential. Anyway, moving on. There's something I heard today or yesterday that I don't know if you guys watched it or not, but the Legends show on the network.
It's still going on? I thought it was
That's like the best thing they got.
I thought it was like a one... Legends. I thought
Legends with JBL.
Not Legends House or whatever.
No.
Okay.
Hold on, I think I hear something. Yeah, so they're saying this is the last season or whatever you want to call it of Legends. They just released one with Stan Hansen, which I watched today, and it was cool to watch that. You want to see a certified tough motherfucker? Watch this one. It's pretty good. But there's going to be one more. I can't remember who. I think is it Jimmy Hart or they're going to do it on. And I think that's supposed to be the last one. And that kind of sucks because I really enjoyed that segment.
It's because they're trying to put new content on there.
Get rid of fucking Holy Foley. Come on. Get rid of the fucking cartoon stuff.
I have the balls to say things that nobody else has the balls to say.
Yeah, they're trying... I'm not a fan of the whole PG era. If it's sports entertainment, people cussing and getting hurt, it's funny to me. It's entertaining.
I can't say that I was a huge fan of the Attitude Era because I was a WCW guy. Some of it for me was just too much, like all the bikini lingerie matches. It's like I don't know.
I have
it was nice to look at. Don't get me wrong, but it was like degrading the product.
I have a what the shit moment that I'm noticing after every pay-per-view. They show on the next night on Raw clips or highlights from the pay-per-view the night before.
Over and over and
but
over.
It's not the over and over part that I'm not understanding. It's the fact that they don't show the video. They show, like, stop frame. Like, they don't want to show someone hitting a table.
Right.
It's their own product.
They can just watch it on the network.
And you had to have watched it on the network. So if you're a fan, a true fan, why? And if you're showing it, it's obviously not a spoiler alert because you're showing it. So I just don't understand why they do that.
Yeah, and it's only a segment, a little short thing of it. It's not like a full match. Anyway, there's some news on Rollins. Supposedly, he should be ready to go come WrestleMania, which I think is pretty awesome because him taking on Triple H should be a good one.
Are we seeing a work here?
You know what? I actually think so, but who knows? Because
what are the odds that he gets injured right before WrestleMania? Or not right before this time, but gets injured at a WrestleMania or before WrestleMania.
And I was watching it, and I couldn't see any specific moment where he hurt his knee.
No. So then, with that said, what would be their angle for them having him fake an injury?
Maybe he did hurt it. I don't know. I don't know.
But if it's that serious of an injury, he's not going to be back in under 2 months.
What I read was it'd be out 4 to 6 or 4 to 8 weeks, something like that.
That's what it is when you're in the NFL. But for wrestling, for some reason, it takes a year to come back from these things. It's weird. All right, so anyway.
Okay, I got one for you.
What do you got?
Who's got the best body slam coming off the ropes? Not just, Hulk Hogan pick him up and drop him. Coming off the ropes with speed and force. Who's got the best body slam?
Body slam or
power slam, whatever the hell you want to call it.
I like Baron Corbin's Deep Six. Have you seen that?
I'm sure I've seen it, but I can't think of it right this
It's almost like a tilt-a-whirl slam when the person's running at him and he...
Not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about coming off the ropes, pick him up.
So you're talking about what Lex Luger used to do or Orton with the quick whip?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know you probably think it might be like a body slam. Really, that's what you're asking me about. But I've always been impressed with like 3 of them, 3 peoples that do this move. 1, Rick Steiner. 2, Randy Orton. And 3, Goldust.
Randy Orton scares me with his. It looks like he barely gets clearance.
There's like something to it. It's just like, it just looks pretty.
Like if you don't tuck your head, you're gonna get your neck broken.
Right.
Thing. And Goldust, just everything he does is golden.
Golden turd.
You didn't say that. Tell me you didn't just say that.
Thanks, Booker T.
Oh, tell me he did not just say that.
Wow, a lot of dead time here.
Hold on, I think I hear somebody walking by.
All right, we're good.
Hold on, wait. I think it's a trap.
What is this, Star Wars?
Okay, we're good. What else we got? That was a good match on Raw. Jericho versus Zayn. You know what? Enough talk about WWE. I'm gonna do a little TNA. Just real quick. So, some of you might know the former Brodus Clay guy.
I like him.
Is now in TNA, has been in TNA, and he goes by the name Tyrus. Well, Tyrus was facing James Storm.
James Storm's still around?
Yeah. He's in the DCC.
Why doesn't he come over to WWE and him and Rude?
Rude is over in the WWE.
I know, him and Rude, I'm saying.
Beer money, yeah. So, Tyrus knocks Storm down, and he's like on his knees, and Tyrus goes over to him like he's gonna hit him, and Storm's like, "Oh, like wait," and then he starts going like this.
For those,
He starts doing the Funkasaurus.
for the guys, you guys
It was
that are
freaking funny.
that are
man.
not here in studio with me, Savvo is actually doing the hand signals and the whole.
You better call your mama.
He's doing it as if you guys can see it,
I'm
which
not
is
doing-
great. Which is, this will be
showing
great.
you.
This will be great for the live show. But he's really selling it. I'm convinced that he's the Funkasaurus.
Anyway, so in other TNA news, I'll keep it short.
That's what she said.
How would she say that?
I don't know.
Anyway, the Hardys have been issuing challenges to basically tag teams from other promotions, the Young Bucks, the New Day, and the Wyatts. But being Broken Matt Hardy, he has to say the Bucks of Youth, the Day of New, and the Family of Wyatt. Anyway, it was kind of cool. They were in the ring, and they had Vanguard 1 in there, which is that little drone of theirs.
Yeah.
And I guess it was a new improved Vanguard 1. And the new Vanguard 1 enabled them to, like, transport. So they ended up in Tijuana. And next week they're going against the Tijuana champions or Mexico champions, whatever, Psychosis and Super Crazy.
Oh, they're still around?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
and they're both unmasked now.
So, out of curiosity, do you think that the whole Broken Matt Hardy gimmick...
I love it.
Do you think it came from... They were trying to think of something clever and funny, but they realized they couldn't use WWE licensed names, so they made it sound like he was broken. So he changed.
No,
He
I don't
switches.
think that's how it started. No,
He switches the names up to avoid gimmick infringement.
no,
So the Bucks of Youth.
no. You gotta see it. It's freaking funny.
I'm sure it is.
Another thing, Lashley, who is the champ, was taking on in a rematch the former champ Eddie Edwards, and Eddie Edwards had Eddie Edwards used to be a tag team with Davey Richards. They were the Wolves.
Davey Richards, is that the one that was tag team with the Blue Meanie
No,
from ECW?
that's Stevie Richards.
Okay.
Shawn Michaels lookalike.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it was so weird because I knew something was going to happen with Richards. Turns out, Richards turned on Edwards right as he was going to get the pinfall and be the new champ, but his buddy didn't allow it, so there was a heel turn there. It was pretty cool.
You know who I miss? Completely random.
Hey, thanks for paying attention to what the hell I just said. Next,
Al Snow.
Al Snow's in TNA.
Is he really?
Yes.
Is he really?
Yes.
Is he called Al Snow?
Yes, and he comes out and everybody says, ahead, we won ahead. The stupid shit that I was talking about
The sheep.
earlier.
You gotta love the sheep, man. Drink it in, man. I think we're, he is. He looks the same, too.
Pretty ripped.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What are you checking him out for?
Because he took his shirt off and he's muscular.
Oh my god, so he took his
I mean, that's
shirt-
not my type. Wait, that came out wrong.
That's horrible.
Anyway.
So is there anything else you want to talk about in this episode, or should we shut everything down and get out of this truck?
Yeah, is there any chance we can get somebody on the line?
I can try to see if the Wetback and Crackapow Hour are available to do a quick interview, but they seem to have their thing going on in that gender neutral bathroom stall there at the
Don't say it.
yeah, I'm not gonna say it. The place that is yet to be yeah. Well, until I'm able to get his ass on the phone, which I probably won't be able to, what do you still have for us, Salva?
There's one more thing. In TNA news, okay, Dixie Carter's out, as I'm sure many of you might know. But now it's rumor has it that they're bringing back Jeff Jarrett. What does that mean? Well, Jeff Jarrett started the company. Jeff Jarrett kept the company going.
Are you talking about the JEFFJARRETT, Jeff Jarrett?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Which hopefully will bring some more success to TNA. Yeah. Any thoughts on that? He doesn't watch TNA.
Yeah, I don't know enough about TNA. I feel bad because I'm not giving it a fair shot. I mean, we went to a live event, and that was probably one of the coolest events I ever went to. Because the level of personability, you know, Earl Hebner flipping me off and taking a picture and autographing the book, and then all the wrestlers.
Jeff Hardy in the back being stoned off, is that?
Yeah, RVD.
RVD was there too, that's right.
In the green room.
But everybody, all the wrestlers would come out and sign autographs and sign your book, except for Mickey James.
Let's just say that RVD was in the green room, but it was an auditorium. There was no green room.
Burning.
Yeah. Yeah, Mickey James, you're a bitch. Sorry, you're a bitch.
She was mean to me.
You get a 6-second window to get your phone out and take a picture.
You're holding the program, which is pretty decently, good size. You got a camera. How are you supposed to take a picture and hold your page open for her so she can sign it?
But her response is, "You got as long as it takes for me to sign this."
Yeah, it was not cool.
All right, Salvo. I think security is going to be making the rounds again here in the truck, so I'm going to shut everything down. Before I do, you want to go ahead and drop your line?
What's my line?
Oh, come on.
Well,
put you on the spot.
Once again, professional wrestling is real. People are fake.
And as always,
it's been your pleasure. That's double A Arn Anderson.
It's me. It's STUBB. Why? Because I'm the man, the myth, the legend, the mighty man himself, Stubby. One half of the Savvo and Stubby show. Wanting to thank you for your time. Tune in next week. Same great channel. Same great... I don't know. Fuck it.
Hopefully we'll have a good elimination chamber. And we'll have a good, good things to discuss on the next one.
If you listen to the show this far in, you're awesome. Free tacos. Free tacos. Stubby out.